Please hold on. Transit is departing. Next stop, gates B32 to B48. Second stop, gates C52 to C66.
A very good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen, and warm welcome on board this British Airways flight to Zurich. Before making yourselves comfortable, please check that all your hand baggage is safely put away. Smaller bags which have been labelled must be placed underneath the seating in front of you, and all larger items securely into the overhead lockers. Please place all items in carefully so they don't fall out and cause injury. If you are seated in a front row or in an emergency exit row, all items must be placed into the overhead lockers, and the floor area around your seat must be kept completely clear for takeoff. Portable electronic devices may be used during the flight as long as they are in flight safe mode. And we are pleased to let you know that you may now use your handheld electronic devices, such as mobile phones, tablets and e-readers during takeoff and landing. You may also use your personal headphones at these times. Larger items, including laptops, must be switched off and stowed away safely. And if you do have any questions, please ask a member of the crew. Thank you.
My name is Nicholas Gosling, I'm the first officer. Joining me on the flight deck, Captain Darren Price. Well, thank you for boarding so promptly. I know it's quite unusual being over at B Gate, so that's certainly helpful. We're not expecting any delays from air traffic control. All your bags are on and the pushback team are here, so it's all looking good for our departure. Still about 5 minutes ahead of schedule. Introductions for you in the cabin. There's an excellent team of 4 cabin crew led by Purser Philip. When we push back, they give you a safety demonstration. I know on these short flights, if you're a frequent traveller, it's easy not to give that your full attention. Just bear in mind, it's not just for you, it's for everyone else around you, so please give them that 3 minutes of your attention. That would be greatly appreciated. Other points to note, there's of course a no smoking service. Seatbelt sign, which is on at the moment, requires you to remain seated with your seatbelt fastened. We're expecting nice smooth flying conditions. You certainly look outside, it's a clear day here, so it's nice and smooth here. It's a little bit grey in Zurich, but certainly for our flight it should be nice and smooth, so we'll be able to turn that seatbelt sign off in flight. If we do have to turn it on, of course, you will have to return to seats and fasten your seatbelts. That's about it for me. I will leave you in peace, and I'll give you some more information when we get a little bit closer to Zurich.
If the cabin air system should fail, this will be released. Stay in your seat and pull the mask towards you to open your supply. Please note that the bag does not inflate. Place it over your mouth and nose and adjust the band to secure it. Then breathe normally. Do make sure your own mask is correctly fitted before helping anyone else. You may continue to use handheld electronic devices during taxi, takeoff and landing if flight safe mode is enabled and they are held securely or placed into a pocket. Larger devices such as laptops must be safely stowed at these times. Any transmitting devices without a flight safe mode must be switched off for the duration of the flight. For further information on using electronic devices in flight, please check High Life magazine. Take care your hand baggage isn't blocking the exits or aisles. Personal bags must be put under the seat in front of you, and larger items should be placed securely in the overhead locker. Please place all items in carefully so they do not fall out and cause injury. As this is a no smoking service, smoking is not permitted at any time whilst on board. As we prepare for takeoff, please make sure that your tray table is put away, your seat is upright, and your armrest is down. Finally, take a look at the safety card in the seat pocket. If you have any questions, please ask your crew. We hope you have a relaxed and enjoyable flight.
Thank you, cabin crew. Seats to take off, please.
close to landing terminus.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has now switched on the fasten seatbelt signs. Would you please return to your seats? Ensure the back of the seat is upright with the armrest down. Your tray table is stowed away and you have your seatbelt fastened in preparation for landing. Any hand baggage that you have should be stowed either in the overhead lockers or underneath the seat in front of you. And any larger electronic devices such as laptops need to be switched off now and securely stowed. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, British Airways welcomes you to Zurich, where the local time is 20 minutes to 10. For your comfort and everyone's safety, please remain in your seats with your seatbelts fastened until the seatbelt signs have been switched off. Before you leave the aircraft, please remember to take with you all your personal items and hand baggage. And again, ladies and gentlemen, a word of caution, be careful when opening the overhead lockers in case anything heavy should fall out and cause injury. And you may now switch on your mobile telephones. We have enjoyed looking after you this morning, and we wish you a safe and pleasant onward journey. Goodbye, and thank you for choosing British Airways.
Cabin crew, thank you. Doors to manual and cross-check. Doors manual cross-check.
How do you find using the iPads now?
Fantastic.
They're good, yeah?
It's good for finding things that you otherwise would take a long time to find in a manual. Like unusual situations are great. So, for example,
Oh, sorry.
All our approaches right now.
yeah, I suppose that should be it. Yeah, okay, so that's right.
Yeah, it's on in the States. I use my iPad.
Some of this,
And it basically
if you have a load of cellos, they've got to be strapped in a certain way.
Yeah.
And to find that in
Similar to the Lido
takes ages, and then you get, no, exactly. It's so funny in here. You just type in cello, find the relevant page, look at the picture, and go, okay, right, guys, this is what you need to do. So for that, it's good. Also for when there's disruption, you're looking at flight time limitations. All that sort of stuff that is all part of the job, but you don't usually have to think about it because the planning stage, all of that is all legal. So for that, it is excellent. And then from a flying perspective, having all the charts, I don't know, I quite like to have paper charts actually, to be perfectly honest, but it is good for unusual situations, so diversions, you just pick up, I've done diversion from Heathrow to Gatwick, and when we did have paper charts, routing into the wardrobe to find all the charts was a nightmare. So having it all on the iPad is excellent. And everything's real time as well. So
today?
Yeah, we're shipping days.
So all updates
briefings, and even if there's work in progress, it's all updated. It's not perfect actually, so you have to treat that with a pinch of salt, but the vast majority of it is excellent. We've only introduced it, so we've got problems with battery life and apps being updated. So there's a few things on that just need to be tweaked, but once it's integrated quite nicely into the
and you obviously charge in here?
No, well, this one actually is unusual. Some of them do have charging points, so yes, you can. But a lot of the Airbuses don't.
Okay.
So you do have to be careful with battery life, which is a little bit of an irritation, because the last thing you want to think about is that. But no, it is.
It's worth slowing to the long one.
Yeah.
It's got a few notes on it. Yeah, you keep all that to the route.
So I'm going to just take this note.
How come we were quite low, like flight 290? Flight level caps by ATC. We were actually flight band at 27 and they let us creep up to 29, but it actually got bumpy at 29, so we dropped back down to 27. So the French weren't on strike? No,
that's rare actually, yeah.
To be honest, because it's quite a complicated destination, it takes a lot of briefing to get anywhere. It's quite good to be level lower just to get more time to brief. So, yeah, most of that sense was we got the cruise, we were briefing what we were going to do.
Right, we've got a bit of a short turnaround, guys. So